It's the Solar One Sci-fi podcast.
Hello, this is episode 183 of the Solar One Sci-fi podcast, and I've just realised it was actually Martin's turn to introduce. So, Martin, do you want to do the other half?
No, let Malcolm do it. Give him the honours. He's new this week, so it's down to you.
All right, throw it into it. Malcolm, go for it.
Yeah, so this week, guesting here, we're going to review the Connor Chronicles, Terminator, which I've just binged watched most of. I didn't get all the way through it.
Me too. So obviously we're just introducing Malcolm Patterson, who's been on the show before.
Why didn't you just watch two clips of it?
I want to watch the whole thing. I want to see the whole.
I don't know if I could sit through all that again. 40 odd episodes. No.
Okay. Well, anyway, we're going to focus on that, and I'm glad I will watch the end of it after we review this episode, this show rather. But I just ran out of time. So, but before we actually go into the focus of the week, have we got any sci-fi news? I've got some Doctor Who news, but before I go to my side, and I've also got something ready for the show, which might hopefully stay up. It's a tick box for the Doctor Who. I'm going to have this. I'm going to keep this with me. Over season 14.
We've got two so far. We've got two ticks so far.
I know. I've got the ticks this week. Do you want to introduce the ticks, or shall I, Martin?
Well, apparently the band, Russ T. Davis, he banned the sonic screwdriver.
Yes,
it looks like a gun.
Yes, it's going to scare all the kiddies, apparently.
Right. So I've given up.
And the second one
I'm all right with the sonic screwdriver going. I'm all right with the sonic screwdriver going.
Yeah,
I've hated it since the early show. And in the new series, it just became a get out of everything, get out of jail for everything, like K9 was in the other series. The Doctor.
It was a bit Harry Potter, wasn't it? It became very Harry Potter, didn't it? Let's wave up a thing with the screwdriver.
Well, did you remember, like in the 80s, Who they got rid of the sonic screwdriver? It was destroyed in Peter Davison's, I think, second or third episode. I think it might have been The Visitation. And then you didn't see it again until the Paul McGann movie in 1996. So it was gone for a long time.
Was it John Nathan Turner, I believe, didn't like it for exactly the same reason.
He hated K9 as well. Yeah, he hated
exactly.
K9
it was a get out of jail card for everything.
Yeah, I liked his era. I know a lot of people didn't. I actually liked his era, but there we go. Not saying everybody's going to agree with me, but I just happen to like his here. But there we go. The other tick box thing is not that it's. I don't know if it's tick box, but it is. There we are. So I'm ready. Apparently, Ruby Sunday is going to be bisexual. I don't know whether that's a big deal or not, but I just think.
Yeah, but it's nothing new. That is it. With
I suppose.
Is it?
I know, but
it's pretty mundane now, isn't it? They're going to do something else, something that I don't know. They're just going to.
I've heard some reviews. Episodes 1 and 2 have been reviewed already from Telegraph. And the first one apparently has a singing babies or something, that talk or something, which is really strange. And then the second one is going to be a Beatles thing, where they're going to go back to 1963, Beatles, Abbey Road or something, and there's going to be this transgender sort of villain character who's sort of cackling with big orange hair and false boobies and things like that. So there we go.
Oh, I assume that's Jinx Monsoon.
That's the one. That's the one. Yeah. No idea. Never heard of them. Shall I say? Is that correct? Shall I get my terminology right? Do you know anybody know about Jinx Monsoon or never heard of Jinx Monsoon?
No, I'm not. Me and Doctor Who were like divorced.
But it is looking more like a pantomime every time I see anything about season 14.
It is after Christmas special, the Disney special we watched. I gave up with it.
How about you, Malcolm?
I will watch it, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm not. It's like I watched Discovery this afternoon and I thought that would have wasted time.
Oh, yeah. I think Malcolm's not seen Series 5. Season 5 of Discovery yet. All right, quick opinions of Doctor Who Series 14. What do you think about it yourself, Malcolm? Looks good? Looks crap? What?
They're not really going for us as an audience anymore. Fair play, they've got to move on and what have you. I can't see myself enjoying it, but I'll give it a go. I do like the guy, Ncuti Gatwa. I think he's great.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's great, but I think, again, they're going to go for a far too camp kind of feel to it, and it's not really my thing.
Okay, fair enough. All right, okay. Any other news? The Acolytes, that's starting to come out with some trailers as well.
Been panned. That has been panned. Been panned. Panned it to death, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm quite a big Star Wars fan, so I will definitely check it out. But I'm just wondering whether it's going to be. I don't know. I'm open to that one. I think it's the trailer looks all right. Although apparently there shouldn't be Sith at this point because in Revenge in the Phantom Menace they said that Sith hadn't been encountered for a millennia or something. Somebody's saying, how can you see the Sith,
Yeah,
which is
because
only
it's the
100
rule
years
of-
before?
The Sith are there. There's the rule of two. It's either Darth Tenebrous or the one or his master. It's 200 years back.
It's,
So I
it's
don't
100.
know
It's
how long-
100 years. I think it's 100 years back. But wasn't?
Oh well,
Ten-
when Darth Plagueis then?
yeah, I was going to say
So,
Tenebris wasn't Tenebris before Plagueis?
Yeah, he was his master, and
That's what I
Tenebrous, Plagueis killed him, and
Tenebris and then
all
Plagueis.
that.
And
So
then,
it's got to
yeah,
be
yeah.
around that time, yeah.
No, that's all right. I'll give it a go. I mean,
I
I've
think
I've
they
liked
should have
most of
gone
them.
with young Palpatine. I think we should have got it.
Yeah, maybe.
I really
I
do.
reckon we're going to
Maybe they will.
I reckon we're going to see
I hope so. I'd
Yoda.
really
I
like
think
to
we're
see
going to see
that.
Yoda. I think we're going to see a younger Yoda at some point. I've just got a feeling that seems quite obvious to me, but I reckon we'll see him. Yeah, I mean, the only Star Wars show that I really wasn't into, even though it was good, but it just didn't feel Star Wars, was Andor. So we did review
Yeah.
it. Did you like that, Malcolm? Andor? Did you see that?
No. I'm never a big fan of prequels anyway because
Okay.
there's no drama there. We all know that Andor lives, so what's the point in putting him in precarious situations? We all know he's going to walk away from
Well,
it.
that
Yeah.
was it for me. Yeah.
The only episodes of it I actually really enjoyed were the prison episodes, but that wasn't for him. That was for the what's his name, the guy who plays Gollum and everything.
Yeah. I can't think of his name. but I
And
know
the
his name.
rebel leader guy.
Andy Serkis. Yeah.
Yeah.
The rebel leader him on the shop. I found him trying to unite all the factions. Should have been more about him.
Yeah,
I thought.
yeah, definitely.
And he was just running around, and then we had Cyril and his mother. I just wrote it off after that.
And more about that guy that Forrest Whitaker played in Rogue One.
He was in it very briefly. Yeah, he was in it, but we didn't see much of him, did we? And I think he's going to be more prominent.
Sal something, wasn't it?
Saul Guerrero, wasn't it? Saul Guerrero.
Guerrero, that's
Something
it.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Forrest Whitaker. I think he's a good actor. So, all right, guys. So should we go into it? Because I think we're going to have quite a short one because Marty's got to shoot off. So should we go straight into the focus?
I've got precisely 60 minutes, so I'm all right.
Okay,
I did go
talking.
see Minority Report, the stage play.
Oh yeah. Tell me about it. Was it good? Was it good?
It's Lyric Theatre at Hammersmith. It was all right. They'd done it were all holograms on the stage, but it wasn't easy to turn that into a stage play. I gave up when they were all dancing about on the stage. I mean, it was like, it was set in the UK, and it were interested. There were no break. It was straight through, and I was the hologram. All that the stage set were amazing, but it really lacked something. It's a shame because they really tried with it.
The best one I saw years and years ago at the O2 was the musical version of Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. Holograms.
Yeah.
And that was done very, very well because obviously it's based on an audio album, which of course is a classic, and they did it very well. And I think Liam Neeson was in it as the narrator and stuff like that. That was done very well with holograms. So it's clever. It's clever how they do it.
And I started watching, and somebody told me to start watching it because I went in yesterday. Have you heard of Free Body Problem?
Free Body Problem? No, it's not really.
You need to watch this. I'm honestly, it's based on a book. It's one of the most. It's just an amazing 8-episode show. It's so intelligent. I was sat there gobsmacked by what I watched.
Was it really good?
I don't want to give you any spoilers. And I thought,
Is it based on the unsolvable problem? Is it anything to do with that?
I think that's one of the books. Yeah, there's 3 books. Yeah, and I did some research into it last night. I don't want to give you any spoilers, but I'm up to episode 6, and I couldn't turn it. I was up till 2 o'clock this morning. I couldn't turn it off.
Was that good?
I thought, I've got to go to bed now. There's only 8 episodes. I do recommend this.
Okay.
I don't know how it's going to finish, but it is. I thought this is just amazing.
Well, Malcolm got me into Silo, and I finally watched that. I did talk about it briefly last week, and I quite enjoyed that because you liked it, didn't you, Malcolm?
Oh yeah, I loved it. And I think for review purposes, you probably want to review it alongside Fallout because they're both kind of set inside these silo things and all that.
They're similar. Okay.
Just to compare the two.
Fallout.
Really.
Okay.
Fallout's been the best thing I've seen this year.
Yeah, it's really good.
Everyone's going on about Fallout, so I will check that out.
I can't believe what I'm watching. Finally getting something written properly. Not a prequel, not a spin-off. Is
it based on a book again, or a?
No, again.
Computer games.
Yeah, because I mean, it's funny, isn't it, that we're getting good versions based on computer games.
Yeah.
The Last of Us is another example of a show I enjoyed as well. But it's just the actual Hollywood writing teams. They don't seem to write good stuff, do they? It's all. Why is it that there's something lost in the Hollywood productive process of making good material? Why is it always just sort of half baked and it's just not quite right? Is it just that Hollywood's running out of ideas, or am I just becoming too picky on what I'm watching and too kind of like critical?
We're getting old, mate. We're getting old now.
Is it? It might be. That's what I'm asking you.
I think it is. I don't have a lot of patience for stuff like I used to do. In fact, when I'm watching something, it's got to grab me now.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean,
I don't know why. I assume it's age. I watch a lot of the new stuff and end up. I never get through half of it because it's I lose interest somewhere. And then like Fallout came out, and like the last. I've not seen Last of Us yet, but I like the Last of Us. Yeah. Silo, Foundation, stuff like that.
I've still not seen Foundation.
I couldn't get into it.
I couldn't get into it.
I watched the first two.
Yeah. I watched season 1 of that.
Season 2 was spectacular.
Season 2, I lost it. I started season 2, and after about episode 2, I kept sort of like meaning to get back to it. I never did. Did it get better? You said it was quite good at the end, didn't you?
What season 2 blew me away because it's opening up to what's coming in season 3. And that's the big one, and you see some at future, and what you see. That's all I want to say. But I thought, bring this on. It was excellent. It really was.
Malcolm, you only saw the beginning of season 1, did you say?
Well, I only did like the first 2 episodes, and then I kind of got a bit bored. And like I said, I do want to see it, but I can't get myself in the right frame of mind to watch it.
That is a good point, because season 1 is hard work. It does get better, but you've got to get into the first 4 episodes, because you've got to get used to this royal family. They're all clones of each other. So each episode's like 40 years down the line, and you're not
jumping ahead. That's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I will watch it. I want to review it properly. We did review season 1, but I want to review season 2. So that's fun. All right, guys. Anything else before we go into our focus?
Planet of the Apes.
Oh, you're not seen it yet, have you?
Thursday. I'm going Thursday.
Oh, you're going Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll probably wait again until it's out digitally. But I'd like to hear. I mean, how about you, Malcolm? Do you like Planet of the Apes films, the new ones?
Yeah. There was such a massive gap between the first 3 when I watched them. There were like years between them. So I really don't remember the first one at all. And I don't remember. In fact, I remember less of the second one and the third one. I quite enjoyed. So I will watch this. I will get it going.
Yeah, I mean, I gave them all a rewatch a few months ago because I suddenly heard about this new one, like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I thought, where's that suddenly come from? And I was quite surprised because I thought that was it. I thought it was done. And this is supposed to be set hundreds of years after the last movie with a descendant of Caesar, I think it is. So I don't know. I'm hoping we're going to see the radioactive, what they're called, the ones that worship the bomb in
the mutants.
The mutants, yeah, I'm trying to think of the right word. I'd love to see them. Yeah, I would love to see them in some capacity in the new films. But yeah, I mean, the only films I'm looking forward to this year are that, and although Alien Romulus, the trailer, it did look like Aliens 90210. It did look a bit kind of young audience, and I don't know. But somebody said that what I thought was real was actually a fan. It was a YouTube, not the real trailer. I think we talked about this, didn't we, Martin? Did you see the trailer of it? What did you think of it? I can't remember what you said.
I don't know. I agree. I agree. It did look a bit sort of like that. But apparently the alien's injured, apparently. It did. what's been released. The script. Apparently, the alien creature. It's on a space station. It's injured,
Right.
and it's running about, and it's a bit different to normal aliens. I mean, there ain't really much they can do with alien, is there? It's one creature in a building running around in shadows, and somebody survives. Yeah, and then there'll be some twist at the end where she kills it, and the dodgy corporation comes in. I'm not overtly. I want Colonial Marines. Predator.
This is more of a.
I want from the crowd. I want. That's what I want. I don't want all this.
But this is also
Well, this is it.
horror.
This is it. Yeah. Do you want the original horror movie, or do you want the second film, which is an action movie? So
I'd like-
They're very different.
Really.
They're very different. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like.
If they try to mix them, it won't work.
Yeah, back in the 90s, they released a series of graphic novels, and they were superb. The storylines were, they'd done a really good job, and they could take from that. I'd like to see cross between horror and action, sort of, but something a bit different. I'm a bit bored at, like, after last films, and Covenant, don't get me started on Covenant, but I hated that film.
We never
If
reviewed
this
that.
is on a space station, hopefully it's similar to the game Alien Isolation, which was amazing.
Yeah, brilliant.
If you've never played that, you really
I've never
should get hold of
played
it.
Well, it's
Oh,
set
it's
in between.
awesome.
It's set in between Alien and Aliens.
Aliens,
it's in
yeah,
the middle.
apparently.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
in the middle.
yeah, yeah.
So
So is
I
that
don't
tally up
know.
with the game as well then, or is that in a different time?
no, Romulus came out. Aliens actually came out a few years ago. It wasn't that long ago. Well,
But when was it set? When was it set? The game set? Was it a lot similar sort of time period?
I
Or
think similar.
Well,
time.
it's Ellen Ripley's daughter is the protagonist of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that would be yeah.
You
Because
have to.
I don't-
Yeah.
You're avoiding the alien all through the game. That's what you've got to do, and that's what's clever about it.
But what I loved about it was you could put stuff together like a thing that makes a noise. So on this space station, there are other people trying to survive, and they can be hostile to you as well. And like, if you need to get past them, you build one of these noise-making machines, lob it down the corridor, and then you sit and listen to the carnage as the alien takes them out of the game. And you can hear them screaming and all that and being torn off. And then when you hear the alien go back in the vent, you then just walk down and start taking all their ammunition and searching all their corpses and stuff. It's brilliant. I loved it. It was a fantastic game. For a long, long while, it was the single most requested sequel for a computer game.
Okay.
And
All right.
never did it.
No, I never tried. I've never been much of a gamer, but it sounds like it's definitely worth a go if it's still available in some format of some sort. So yeah, sounds good.
If you get it with a PlayStation 4 and you have the PlayStation Eye, the camera, so you can do stuff like you can move your head to look around corners, but the microphone on the camera works as well. So when you're hiding from the alien, if your missus comes in and says, "Do you want a cup of tea?" that's you gone, because the alien will hear you.
Oh,
And it
that's
had a really
cool.
primitive-
Sound
it had a really
activated.
primitive AI in it as well. So if you go in a room and you open drawers and you leave them open, searching for stuff, the alien will spend longer in the room because it realizes people have been in there.
So it's slightly off topic, but do you think then AI will be integral to future games with the way that, like, as you sort of described, that they will actually hear conversations, hear sounds, and make it part of the game through AI
Yeah, I think
technology?
so.
It's happening. It's happening now.
Yeah, it's all very scary, isn't it, with the AI stuff we're doing? I mean, we've been looking at lots of those retro 50s AI clips. Have you been really blown away, haven't you, Martin, by some of those?
Oh, I can't stop watching them. We released one the other day, actually. I've not watched it yet.
Yeah, but there's a few that we...
Yeah.
And there are sort of like some rivals who are doing them.
I just
mean,
find, like, the animation, it's like he's done something amazing with them.
But the one thing you'll notice is that because I know this with ChatGPT, I do graphic design rather than proper videos. But if you ask for something and then you ask for it again, it will always get it slightly different. So if you look at those AI videos, if you like C-3PO or something like the Star Wars one, when he goes back to C-3PO, every time you see him, he'll look slightly different from the time before. It doesn't retain what it's created from that one request. It will in the future times, but it's just very interesting how it thinks it up.
The last one I saw was Rafa Khan. He did Rafa Khan.
How was
seen that one.
not seen that one.
1950s. It's on there. Yeah, it came out a couple of days ago.
And does the Enterprise keep changing shape, though? That's the thing.
Sort of. It's just so weird, but it works.
It is weird, isn't it? It is weird.
I can't explain. It's like I could watch this as a whole, in that universe of what it's all set. I could just watch it. I just think it's great, you know.
Well, it's like with all the graphic design and stuff I've learned over the years in Photoshop. I'm not needed now. I just ask ChatGPT 4 for something, and it does it in 10 seconds. I think I like all doing all the graphics and stuff. Oh, bollocks to that. You're redundant. It's like what people do in the future.
Well, I've been drafting a script for the next short film, and I used ChatGPT.
Just ask it. Ask AI for it.
I told it what I wanted. It gave me a script
in 10 seconds. It's really
and
kind of like I don't know how the world's gonna. I mean, it is scary.
I don't.
As a parent, and obviously Malcolm, you've got kids as well. It's although they might be older, it is kind of scary how the younger generation, what they're going to be facing in the future in respect of almost like competing against AI in so many aspects of professional environments.
Well, that's what we're covering. That's what we're covering today, aren't we? AI.
Well, yeah, I suppose it's AI based on AI in sci-fi form, and that's a good link.
When it turns on us, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think on that note, let's go into our focus of the week, guys. Are you ready? Here we go.
Yep.
It's the Solar Sci-Fi Focus of the Week.
All right, so I have to wait for a second for the ring transporter effect, as it make it look professional. Right, this week we are focusing on this is the first time. Actually, no, we did Mission Impossible recently. We're focusing on a TV show rather than a film. And we have done our best to see all the episodes. I've seen about 97% of it, but I did flay at the last moment. I just couldn't quite finish it. But we are reviewing Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles, which I think, looking at the information here, it was a show which lasted for 2 seasons. It was from 2008-2009. It was based as a sequel to Terminator 2. It wasn't anything to do with Terminator 3 and all the others. It had its own timeline, and it was basically a continuation where in that present period they are still fighting the future and fighting the formation of Skynet. But there's one question I'll ask about that later on, because it's one thing which I need to ask you. But before that, what do you think, guys? Malcolm, let's start with you. What do you think of Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles?
Yeah, it started off slow, but I enjoyed it overall.
Okay.
I like the fact that there were more Terminators being sent back to do other stuff.
Yes.
Like you had the guy in the movie hall buried in a wall waiting to kill a guy, and you had the other guy who was collecting the cold sand. And there were obviously John Connor could not possibly be the guy who led everything. He couldn't be the one man. There had to be other guys who were equally as part of the resistance in the future. And I've always, even since the first film, I've always wondered why no Terminators ever came back to kill them. His lieutenants, his second in command, the guy who did this, the guy who did that. Yeah, in this we get that they're all coming back.
But it's sort of splintered. It's sort of splintered because, as you say, the original movie, it was just Sarah Connor was going to conceive John Connor, and there's one Terminator. I mean, in the original movie, it says there's only one Terminator was ever sent back, and obviously then they also had Kyle, and then the second one they changed it to they were sent 2 Terminators back, and then it's now they've sent bloody thousands of the things all over the place, and it's the way it is. So, Martin, first of all, what do you think about it as well? Let's get your open opinion about it.
Well, it's all about no fate, isn't it? Because what happened was time paradox was created, and it created multiple parallel timelines and universes, and Paul Skynet in the future cancelled itself out.
Yeah.
Because if you go with the films, which are the template, do you remember the film, the last one, and you had Arnie, who was
Dark Fate,
the reality, yeah.
Dark Fate.
That new one said whatever it was, said your timeline's gone. It ain't, because then you jump to the one with Matt Smith in, and the original, that was going to be the start of a new trilogy. That Matt Smith
It failed, yeah. He was the beginning
of... What do they call the computer? Skynet.
Skynet, yep.
Yeah, Matt Smith was the quantum Skynet. He travelled from one reality to the or timelines. And in every timeline he's been to, humanity wins against the machines all the time. So basically, it all gets screwed up. So timelines and Terminators, that's why you've got loads of them. I mean, there is lots of them. Skynet must send bloody hundreds of them back. But then it's going to cancel itself out or totally devastate. It's already achieved what it wants. It's cancelled itself out.
Yeah, but there's one question about this show, though, that I wondered, that with all these things where they're stopping the future, did we actually ever see a change in the timeline based on a story that happened in this show? I mean, we know, that's what I'm wondering, whether it was already already done. So all these people that go back
Well, the show...
Go on.
The show kind of says so. The Jesse that comes back is not the same Jesse that John knew in the future. Not John. What was the other? The Reese guy. It's not he. He says that quite early on. He says that the future she's from is not the future that he was in.
Oh, I missed that.
At the end.
Good.
At the end
That's what.
it again.
Right. Okay, I missed that because it was Derek Reese was Carl's brother. And we saw Jessie. Jessie was a nutter, by the way. She was good, but and of course she kills John's girlfriend, Riley. She gets killed off. That's the episode. I don't think we got up to that point, but she gets killed off by Jessie. She gets shot. But I think Riley also came from the future as well. I think it was said.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
And
that
then you also get.
Go on.
You also get near the end. Derek gets killed, and then I think I haven't seen it for years. But I think in the last episode, he's back again when John goes into the future. Isn't it? Doesn't John travel to the future?
That's the bit I've not got up to.
And no one knows him.
The future. Right. Oh, okay. So that's good because I wasn't quite sure. I thought, well, why are they bothering to do all this? Because we've not seen any changes from the future. But if that's confirmed, that's fine. That's the one thing I've missed until you said, because I haven't seen the last few. And obviously I missed the Jesse link as well with the alternate sort of timeline. But I mean, so what do you think of the cast of all the? I mean, I think it was quite a solid cast. I think they all kind of worked quite well, didn't they? And everybody in their respective roles.
She's Lena Headey. She's a fantastic actress.
Wasn't she in Game of Thrones?
Yes, she was. Yeah.
But wasn't also the actress?
She was in Judge Dredd as well. She was in Dredd.
But Game of Thrones also has the other actress who played Sarah Connor in Genesis.
Emilia Clarke.
So he had two Sarah Connors in that show, which I just think is quite cool. You know what I mean? I don't know why, but it's a bit of an odd one. It's like...
This is other thing. I mean, there was the whole thing with her from Garbage, the band.
Oh, yeah.
She was the shape-shifting Terminator.
Oh, no, this is...
Christina Locken?
I think so.
Is she the Scottish T-1000?
Yes, yeah. She's against Skynet. She wants to destroy it and alter it, and because
she's for her own purposes.
There's a lot of messing around with that AI in the past that does a runner.
Yeah, because
they had a name for it. I forgot what it was called now, but that Terminator.
Oh, Babylon, wasn't it? Babylon, yeah.
Yeah, well, she were like teaching it. And it were like she had her own agenda. She were like wanted she were like totally opposites to Skynet. But when they go into the future in final episode, they've already altered their own future. I mean, there's no.
That's how it ended. That's how it ended, wasn't it?
But there's no straight timeline in the future because the series is canon to the TV, the movies. It's all connected. It's just set in different timelines. And don't forget as well. They started jumping them all through time as well.
There was one that went back to the 50s, and but that episode, the actor that played, who was that awful captain of in Star Trek Picard season 3, the one that he was actually really good.
He's brilliant.
He was a bloody Terminator.
Great actor.
Right?
Is that him?
And he was a Terminator. I thought, Jesus.
Yeah, he's the guy that ends up in the wall.
Oh bloody hell, is that him?
Yeah, and I thought
it was in the wall for all them years. Yeah. I didn't know that was him.
Yeah, I thought, because I didn't realise he was in the show. And then we also had Trip the Tucker the third from Enterprise. He was in an episode. He was a cop as well in one episode. So there are some Star Trek actors in this as well.
The guy that plays Cromartie.
I liked him. He was in Fear the Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead.
But if you watch Deadwood,
I've seen
his character is killed off in like the third episode. But he's such a good actor. They bring him back 5 episodes later as a completely different character.
He was in a character in Fear the Walking Dead, and spoilers. He gets killed off, and oh my god, when he dies, and then you realise you think he's alive, and he lifts his head up, and he's obviously changed over. I thought, oh my god, and he was really good in Fear the Walking Dead. If ever you want to see it, his character. Great actor.
I love the scene in the bathroom when you see his full endoskeleton.
Oh
He
yeah,
gets
because
into the bath,
because he's obviously his character's called Cromartie, and of course eventually he gets killed off, and then he becomes plugged into the AI. But Garrett Dillahunt is the actor, great actor. I don't know, I think he's a very underrated actor.
I found we like Cromartie and Summer Glau and from the Scottish lady.
Shirley Manson.
They gave the machines personalities, didn't they?
I just think
and that's what I liked about. I liked his relationship with Summer Glau.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, Summer Glau's character was fascinating because there was an episode where she temporarily goes back to a default Terminator thing, and then they have to stop her, and then later on, her hand gets damaged, and she's starting to get a bit sort of busted and stuff, and they're trying to keep her going. I thought she was very good as that weird sort of protector for John. I thought that.
Well, she got jealous when he went out on that date as well. I found
with a girlfriend. It wasn't. It was suggested that she was jealous of the girlfriend of Riley.
Yeah.
And of course, I thought that she was very good.
I think Terminator the TV series, it could have gone the full 5 seasons, but the payoff at the end, the payoff would have had to have been massive. They would have had to have finished it. It'd have had to have been some finish at the end. And maybe, it's a shame it got cancelled because I was a big fan of it. And even now, I watched a lot of the clips when I were in, and I thought I really like this show.
I have enjoyed it. I've probably watched a bit. I've watched a bit too much over a short period. If I'd have had the chance, I'd have watched it over about 2 or 3 weeks rather than about 2 or 3 days. And I think Malcolm also had to cram it a bit as well. But it is a good, solid show. I think it's really, it's quite underrated. You don't ever hear about it much these days. I think it should have a bigger, it's taken us 5 years nearly to review it. And I'm surprised we haven't kind of both talked about it before. So
that's the sad thing. It's like it's just been forgotten as well.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Go on, Malcolm. Just to go back to the fact they had personalities, what I thought was a great episode is where Cameron has that friend in the library in the wheelchair, the one with the guy in the and she's getting very close to him, and it's like a friendship and all that. And then at the end of the episode, they pull the rug, and she just doesn't give a toss and just moves on to the next person. I thought that was brilliant. I thought that as a way to just go, no, she's not. She's learning, but she still doesn't give a shit about anything.
Basic thing. Yeah, exactly. No, I think that was very solid as well.
It would have been good. A third season would have been amazing. I would have liked to have seen the Skynet installation with Skynet
in the future. Yeah, I mean, we saw some
and
clips
and they're communicating with it, and like they did in the film. But it's actually a lot. It's very Skynet based.
But it's a very Terminator trope that they often have plans to go one direction, then it just doesn't work, and then it's sort of left in midair. That's the 3 times that's happened. It happened with Genesis, which was the first of 1 and 3. It just had the 1. It happened again with Dark Fate, which is 1, and I think that's supposed to be a trilogy as well. And it happened with this. So I don't know why it is that the show never kind of gets past it.
You get the first 2, which are marvellous. The TV series, which I thought had a lot of potential. And then all the other movies just sucked. I mean, I did like the one with... is it Salvation?
I like Salvation.
Salvation.
I thought that was solid. Did you hate that?
Hated it.
Oh, Malcolm.
I know where you're coming from. I can get that why you would. But I liked it because it was the first time you got to see the future. And I'm fed up of this story of Terminator comes back to knock off somebody.
It didn't have time travel. It's the only one without the time travel.
Yeah, and for me, we've had the past thing now. Let's go into the future and have 3 movies set in the future.
Now listen, guys, we've only got 2 minutes left on Zoom, so should we just come back and just do a final 5-10 minutes sort of idea of where we'd like the Terminator franchise to go? Is that all right with you both?
Yep. That's marvellous.
All right, we'll be right back then, guys. It's just Zoom as usual. We'll be right back.
Okay then. Right.
All right, sorry, we're back now after our usual brief spell of waiting for Zoom to let us go through. So we wanted to sort of finish off, I think, really sort of asking what we hope for the Terminator franchise. It's gone a long way. It's featured a lot of stuff. Let me ask you both: do you think it has a future? Pardon the pun. In some form in the future, whether it's TV or movie. Let's ask Martin first. What do you think about the future of the Terminator?
I think if the problem is it's like I love Terminator. The concept alone is just it's amazing, but it has. I would just say it's been quite disastrous, hasn't it? I mean, none of the films have really.
Since Terminator 2, you mean? Terminator 2 is the last.
And I think with the right writing, the right casts, I think you could either get a 5-year TV series, big story arc, and a big, fantastic payoff ending, or go about doing a trilogy of movies in a different way. Drop the time travel thing now.
Okay.
Go into the future.
Okay.
That for me is, I think, because Terminator really is a time loop. The first Terminator is the end of the war. They smash the grid, and they sends the Terminator through and send Kyle Reese through.
Yeah.
That's the end of the war. In the future, then it plays out in the past. It's a circle.
That's right. Exactly.
With many timelines going off all over the place. But I think focus it in the future now. And I definitely would have this in the collection. Yeah. I just think there's potential. Love the series. It should have been finished. I love the final episode. The ending was superb. We were interested because we were going into the future, So, I'm not going to knock it.
And do you think it might have actually sort of damaged the series that it got cancelled when it was just kicking into gear?
There is one problem. If the series would have played out a 5-year season, 22 episodes each season, I think it could have damaged the movies because the series has to give an ending.
Right.
Because in the third season, it's the middle chapter. Yeah. And then it's the build up to wherever we're going to go.
Okay. Yeah,
so
I can see what you mean.
So people, it could sort of affect the films because you're going to have to give this series an ending.
Right. How about you, Malcolm? What do you think about it all?
I think the only way it really works in the future, and it should be in the future, is you cannot have a series where every time something happens, it's like, right, let's nip back to the past and stop that happening in the past. It has to just be in the future. And for me, the way that works now is because John Connor and that know about it. The first thing, one of the key things they need to do in the future is stop that time machine being built in the first place. Yep. Stop that being built, and that solves everything. And then it just moves on, and it just becomes a new show set in the future. Which, to be fair, the new Terminator anime show may well be that.
Is there an animation series coming?
On Netflix? Yep.
It's coming soon. There's
literally is that out this year?
No details. It comes out soon. There's no details about it at all. But it comes out in August, I think.
So are you both going to check that out, are you? I mean, I'm not very into animated stuff.
Is this going to be set in the past or the future?
Well, there's no real details, but it seems that people seem to think it will be set in the future.
I hope so. I really do hope so. Because I do love this franchise, but I'm just fed up of all the let's get back to the past and stop scaring
I'm kind of thinking that maybe it does have a very limited format. It might be that the format itself has been done in many variations to kind of spark it and just enjoy what we've had and not really add to it.
Well, that's why I think the TV series could have been the one that could have finished it off in a fantastic sort of way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really do think it could have been or a decent trilogy of 3 films. But, they want to milk it and get 9 films out or 10 films. It's all about
get into
money.
A franchise again. It's like these franchises don't always work when you have something where certain shows, like obviously Star Trek works because it's so many infinite ideas. But, the idea... Basically, it was just the original movie was a twist. It was basically there's this crazy robot trying to kill this girl, and it was all about. Obviously, we know what it's about, but There's only limited, you know what I mean? It can only go so far with it.
The whole concept is based on the Outer Limits, isn't it? It was an Outer Limits episode, wasn't it?
That's right. I remember you saying about
The
that.
original story, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when you watch these shows, there's always something in the past which is kind of like representative of, or very like a prequel or an earlier version of what they made.
Well, it was the soldier in, I think, it went Outer Limits. Michael Ansara.
Yeah, I was going to say Michael Ansara from Star Trek. Yeah.
He's in a war in future, there's laser beams going on, and then something happens, and he ends up in the 20th century, and he sees the senator who's the one that caused the war 30 years. He was, like, in history remembered for it. Is he going to kill him? It's fantastic. That's where Terminator comes from.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, exactly. No, well, listen, guys, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we will review some other Terminator movies in the future. Again, pardon the pun. But I think for now, so basically, you both have a copy of Sarah Connor on your collection, would you?
Oh yeah, I've got both seasons, yeah.
But it's what I'm saying is it's one to keep in your collection.
Definitely, because it's one of them things you're gonna like. I've not gone back to it in like a long time. So you mentioned this last week. I've never really thought about it.
No, I'm really glad I did actually.
And I've really jumped into quite a lot of episode clips, and you've both watched
most of it. Yeah,
a lot of it, and it does drag somewhere in it all, but the concept works, and there was potential there, and they just killed it. But I've enjoyed going back to it. Really.
Thank you, guys. I think it's
just out of interest. Have either of you ever done the Terminator 3 ride in Disney World?
No.
No, I've heard of it. But have you done it, Malcolm?
That's incredible. It's
really
incredible. Good? Yeah, the first time I ever did it, I went to Florida with Peter Chapelhouse, bizarrely, or Peter Lally, as you know him.
Oh, Peter Lally! Oh, wow.
And his wife, yeah.
Oh, lovely. Brilliant.
And all that. So it's basically it's done like a cinema. 3D was very new at the time, and then they realised that rather than get somebody that looked like the John Connor and looked like Arnie and looked like Sarah Connor, they got the three. They literally got Schwarzenegger.
They got them all back.
Kid's name, Linda Hammond, and then it's mixed with people on stage. So, well, you see it on the screen, and then there's like the Cyberdyne Systems logo, and the woman's talking to you on the stage, and you've got the glasses on, and then the thing just goes into liquid, comes out, and the guy stood next to her. You literally see him come out the screen. He then kills her, and then you see on the screen, you see a bubble open, and you see Arnie coming towards you on his bike from the future, and as he hits the screen, they literally through trapdoors have the bike come out onto the stage. It is seamlessly done. It is worth. I mean, that's 35 odd years ago that they did it, just after the original Terminator 2.
So the actors would have been. Go on.
Have you seen the animated movie where Batman versus the Terminator?
No.
Do you want it? It's worth checking out.
Batman versus the Terminator.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of this stuff you're making up, Martin.
Batman. I'm not honestly. It's on YouTube. I found it. The animation is brilliant. Batman's set in the same story. It's in the future. Batman's in a battle tank, and he's got a bat tank, and he's driving along, and he's going to battle Skynet. There's like Batman and Robin. It takes out Skynet. It's very good. Okay. Honestly, it's worth a look.
You could almost do a whole show just reviewing certain fan films because, like when George Lucas started to give out awards for it, some of the Star Wars ones are incredible.
Oh well, we interviewed what's his name, Vic Mignogna from Star Trek Continues, which we really think is the best ever Star Trek fan series we've ever seen. I don't think you've seen it yet, have you, Malcolm? But it is very, very.
I've seen the first 2 or 3, and I've seen the very last one. And because
Nicola Bright's in it, Nicola Bright's.
You need to watch the last one because it's just when they come out in their new uniforms.
I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was really.
You're right
really
about the fan stuff, though. I mean, I've said something pops up over there, 20-minute Vader story. And
there's some really good ones.
I watched 5 minutes of it, and I thought, if you've done this with the background set and everything, it was just honestly what some of them put together is incredible.
And they also
it really is.
Thing is that
the original one, Troops, is just Troops. The original fan film is just hilarious, and obviously George Lucas allowed the guy to use so much of the stuff as long as he agreed never to make a profit from it. But it's so well made.
If I remember correctly, I think that Star Wars has a bit more flexibility towards fan films than Star Trek. But then that's thanks to Alex Peters, isn't it, with the Axanar debacle, which happened about what?
Well, there's
several years
been
ago
a
now.
big, massive carrying on with him over the last
I'm still
couple
waiting for
of
my
years.
20 quid for that bloody Axanar
Yeah,
that
well,
we paid
somebody
towards.
posted a load of his emails or something on Facebook. There's a group that totally hates him.
Yeah, I follow it on Facebook.
There
I do
was some
follow them.
the other day, but I won't. I better not say it.
No, I've done some photoshops for them. They've loved it.
But
as well.
it was interesting, somebody said, we've been waiting 12 years for our bloody film, and you're offering us a 4-minute clip you made 7 years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I do
I've
know.
given up. He owes me 20 quid.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my 20 quid for my film. I think.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, listen, guys, thank you for that. It's been a good review. Let me just quickly show you. I painted up my it's sort of coming out of it. I 3D printed out my T800 years ago. It was gold, but I painted it over the weekend, and it's
Got it.
quite well. Actually, can you see it?
I don't know if you want to say my Vampirella report.
Go on then. Let's show off there. I don't think Malcolm's got anything to
I'm
say.
just thinking you can see that in the background every now and again when it's.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
I was wondering what was going on behind me.
let me,
Background, Martin. I thought you had
right,
I thought you had someone sort of like admiring the podcast from behind your back.
I'm trying to get rid of it.
Turn off your virtual.
Hang on. Let's right. No.
There we go.
Yeah,
All
there
right.
we go.
Oh, that's good.
That's my.
Yeah, but your green
great,
screen
yeah.
sometimes it just sort of the cleavage kind of stands out a bit behind you.
Oh, just say, I noticed that.
Yeah, so it might get a few more subscribers after
Yeah, and
that.
that's where my arcade. You can see it there.
We want to see it. Yeah, you're going to do it on your channel.
No,
but
I'm going to make a video on it.
All right,
Saturday,
okay.
so
Martin's
I've
got a
still
new arcade machine, haven't you?
things to do.
Yeah, we look forward to
But
seeing that.
I've got a Sokatano as well.
Okay,
You
that's
know,
all right.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in seeing those together, shall we say?
So
I don't know if
still
it'll
saying
show up
stuff.
here,
Oh, yeah.
but my latest
let's have a
3D
look.
print. I don't know if you'll be able to see it.
No, let me
because
see
it's-
how
buy-
it is.
no,
Can you buy your T-shirt?
I've
turn
got
off the background.
5 more
Yeah.
minutes. Only 3 minutes past. I've got 5 more
Are you
minutes.
sure? Right.
so,
Yeah,
so
go on.
that is
What's that?
the arm,
Oh,
and then that is the Terminator's.
Can you?
that's it. If you put it over your T-shirt, then
I like
Oh,
that. Yeah. That's nice. I got
And you
that.
So it
did,
just needs to be.
What's the scale of it? What is it? 1 to 1
1-to-1.
scale. Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, because you did
Did
you
you-
did the V laser gun, didn't you, Malcolm, as well?
Yeah, that's at work. I
How
can't show
long
you
did
that
it
one.
take? How long did it take you to print that?
To print that about a week.
Yeah.
It's in 4 or 5 different parts.
Are you gonna chrome it up then?
Yeah, it's all going to be sanded down.
it's very
smooth.
nice.
I love doing all that
Yeah,
stuff. It's
yeah.
so amazing how it's just sort of like you can find it online. You can just let it do it. Painting it is the tough thing with 3D stuff. It's very hard to do it, but it's.
I love science fiction.
I know you do. We all do. This is why we're on here, isn't it? Right. So what are we going to review
Yeah.
next time? I mean, next week.
I
Any
don't know.
ideas? We have still got. We might do. How about Doctor Who? We've still got the first Doctor, the second Doctor, the 7th, and the 9th to go. They're the only Doctors.
I
in
think
the-
we should. Is the new series starting? Is the new
Yeah,
series
I think it's next
starting this
weekend.
week?
Yeah, next. Weekend coming. Yeah.
I think we should do that next week.
So which Doctor do you want to focus on?
Well,
One,
the new
two.
guy.
Well, no, because we do it at the end of the season once he's actually gone through it. We
Yeah,
can't.
but
review-
we've got to cover first episode.
Well, yeah, but we do that with our topic of the week. You see.
Okay.
So which Doctor do you want to review? Doctor 9, 1, 2, or 7?
9, 1, 2, 7.
Okay, Martin.
I don't know. Who do you want to do?
Malcolm, you choose.
I would say you want to do either Sylvester McCoy, because that's the point where a new showrunner was going to take the show in an entirely different direction.
Yes, it was.
Just as it got cancelled.
Uh-huh.
Or Eccleston for the whole big how it came back.
Well, what about if we do Eccleston, because that was when it came back, and now he's kind of making it come back in a different way again, if you know what I mean. This is almost like a new Doctor Who version 3 kind of thing. So shall we do that, Martin?
Which Doctor are we doing?
Eccleston, Doctor 9, Christopher Eccleston.
Eccleston. Yeah. He's out. We've done Sylvester McCoy, haven't we?
No. I know all the Doctors. We've done 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11.
Right.
14, 15. 14.
All right, yeah, Eccleston, yeah.
All right. Malcolm, are you going to come back with us soon, mate? I don't know when you're available, but please come back. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, matey. Thanks, guys. I think because we're talking about Doctor Who, there was this great thing on YouTube I saw where the video of Take On Me by Aha was been redone with sort of this scratch drawings of Doctor Who over the years. I'll probably get a copyright on the actual YouTube. That's fine. I don't monetize anyway, so it's well worth showing to people on here. So, Malcolm, thank you for joining us. Come back soon. And
No
Martin,
worries.
thank you as always. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining us, yeah.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to say when you finish the Endor scanner, definitely want to see that when it's grown up. Definitely, yeah.
And I should be getting my TARDIS going through soon, which is going to be made as well. It's really well. This guy's making it for me, and it looks really good. So I'm looking forward to sharing that as well. So we'll share it. Cheers, guys. See you next time on the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast.
All right. Live long and prosper.